Hey my friends, it's Bradster Dadster back for another video. It's been a minute or two since my last video. I know it's been a while. It's okay. A lot of things have happened in the past minute or two, but we're back. So here's what I want to get into now. It's time for me to introduce a new video series based on practical Christian living. But I don't want to waste your time. I want it to be 5 minutes or less, except for this video. This is going to be a little longer because I'm introducing everything. So that'll be fine. You'll be fine. But from here on out, it's going to be about 5 minutes or less of practical Christian living, how to live a life that honors the Lord, that honors Christ, but also, practically speaking, how to actually practice the faith that we preach. That's what I want to do for you. That's what I want to do for me. So we're going to get right into that. My first video is going to be talking about the love walk. There's a lot to be said about love, so I want to get right into that. So buckle up, let's get into it right now. But first, I'd like to thank the sponsor for the video. Today's sponsor being that feeling you get when you feel for your phone, your keys, and your wallet, and one of them's missing. You know that feeling. These days, I've seen a great number of Christians fall short of the life that the Bible teaches, and really the life that they claim to lead. In the church world, we have politically based services with decision-making based on political influence, strife and relational discord over things that are really insignificant, people being one way in the church, if they even attend, and then a whole other way while they're at work or in their personal life. And then the power of God being shoved aside for a message of tolerance and acceptance. And that will get its own video, trust me. For today, though, I want to focus on how to get out of this rut that we've been in for so long. It's time for us to step out and get into the life that God's called us to. So let's talk about 1 Corinthians 13. The chapter before that, 1 Corinthians 12, is about the gifts of the Spirit and their manifestations. The chapter after that is about how we edify each other using those spiritual gifts. But there's one chapter in the middle, 1 Corinthians 13, that talks about something very important. And that's that we cannot expect to live a Christian life if we don't walk in love. Now, I hear you saying already, I've heard walk in love my whole life. I've already got that covered. Well, do you though? Look back on your day just today and examine yourself. Did you really walk in love in every situation that you ever came across? The whole day. Just do a quick reflection. And if you're listening to this in the morning, then think about yesterday, or even think about what you're going to be doing today. Will you be walking in love all day? Did you walk in love all day? Did every situation you face, you responded with love? Did you? If you're anything like me, probably the answer is no. And that's really okay, because I'm with you. But we've heard all this too, Bradster. We've heard all this before. How do we actually do this? How do we actually walk in love? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's look at 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. And that's in the Amplified version, not the New Age version, but the classic version. Here we go. Love endures long and is patient and kind. Love never is envious or boils over with jealousy. It is not boastful or vainglorious, does not display itself haughtily. It is not conceited, arrogant, inflated with pride. It is not rude, unmannerly, does not act unbecomingly. Love, God's love in us, does not insist on its own rights or its own way, for it is not self-seeking. It is not touchy or fretful or resentful, takes no account of the evil done to it, pays no attention to a suffered wrong, does not rejoice at injustice and unrighteousness, but rejoices when right and truth prevail. Love bears up under anything and everything that comes, is ever ready to believe the best of every person. Its hopes are fadeless under all circumstances, and it endures everything without weakening. Love never fails. Now we see here a beautiful description of what love is according to what the Lord says love is. It seems complicated, but when you do what I'm about to teach you, it'll be really simple. So here's the best way to practice walking in love. The first thing you want to do is print out the passage that I just read to you. 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8 in the Amplified version, the classic version, not the newer one. I have mine posted in my shop, right here. I walk in there several times a day, and every time I walk in my shop, I stop and I read that. Here is the doing part now. When you've printed that out, hang it up somewhere, just like I did in my shop, and every time you look at it, take the time it takes to read it. I know that might seem like a lot of work to do, but think about it. It took me about 30 seconds to quote that from start to finish. If you can watch a mobile ad on your phone before playing a game, you can quote this passage. Trust me, it does not take long. As you read it more and more, you'll be able to quote it from memory like I can. It really only takes 30 seconds. So in the same amount of time you're watching that mobile game ad so that you can get some extra loot chests to open or whatever, you could be quoting this passage to yourself as you're watching that ad. It's really that simple. So in the morning, the first time you see your printed out sheet and you read it through the whole way, pick one phrase out of it to focus on for the whole day. So that could be love endures long, okay? Love endures long, love endures long. That could be love is kind, all right? Love is kind, love is kind, love is kind. Think about that all day. So repeat that phrase to yourself as often as you think about it. And then anytime you see your sheet, read through the whole thing and then continue to think on that one little phrase the rest of the day. To take it a step further, you could say, you are kind. You could say, I am kind. I am gentle. I am patient. That way you're making a little more personal and not so much just love in general is kind. You're saying, I am kind. That brings it home to you. Now, the fancy word for doing this is meditation. In the Bible, meditation literally means to mutter to yourself under your breath. It's really easy. It's not some crazy, oh, I'm thinking and pondering and thinking and pondering. It's not all that. It's literally just saying it to yourself under your breath over and over. That's what meditation means. When the Lord says to meditate on my word day and night, he really means to just say it under your breath to yourself. Day and night, as much as you can think on it, that's what he wants you to do. Say it. So I want to challenge you to try this out for 7 days straight this week. I'll even do it with you and I'll let you know how it went this past week. For 7 days, read that sheet, print it out in the morning, read it all the way through, pick out a phrase that you want to focus on for the whole day and focus on that. And remember, repeat that to yourself under your breath. I promise you, as you do this throughout your week, you'll really start to notice the change in your own behavior in little reactions. You won't react quite as harshly as you used to if you do that. You will be a little more patient. You'll be a little more kind. You'll actually start to think on these loving qualities and watch them work in your life. It'll be amazing. So after this 7-day challenge is up, I promise you, you'll start to see that you're leading the life that you claim to lead. If you believe in Jesus, like I do, you will suddenly start to notice that your life is being more like him. So let's get out there and be people of our word. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful week. Let's go out there and make a difference. Is that how I want to end the video?